Today we'll be checking out the plugin that's the OpenCart multi-vendor marketplace customer reverse auction plugin. And basically this particular plugin allows your marketplace customers to request for a product according to their own requirement. And once a request is approved by the admin, then the marketplace vendors of the marketplace can place the bid for that request so as to fulfill the request of the customer. And lastly, the customer can choose the lowest bid to purchase the product, and he'll be accepting the bid and can purchase the product from the seller on the lowest price. So I'll be showing you the workflow of the same at the storefront, and then we'll also be checking the rest of the functionality at the seller's end and the admin's end, how the admin can also initially configure this particular plugin for his web store marketplace. And before proceeding further, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Apart from that, if you find this particular video helpful, then do give it a thumbs up. Now, the very first thing that we'll be doing is I'll just show you how this particular reverse auction works for the customers. So right now I'm at the storefront, as you can see, and from here, right now I've not logged into my account. So for example, to show you the workflow at the user's end. So right now I'm, for example, a guest user. I can see this customer request section here in the header. So I'll just tap that up, and that would basically bring up the complete customer request list for the products there. So from here the users can see the products that are there for within the request list, and here you can see the requirement is there for the books posted by, the location, the budget amount of the customer, and the date of posting of this particular thing. Apart from that, you can also see that a user can see the view request button here as a guest. So if I just tap here on the view request button, then we'll be able to see the complete details of that particular request, as you can see here. So here we have a Google map showing the location, and here is the option that you can see right now, the customer's request view for the guest that he wants the books. My budget is $10. My deadline is this. I've posted it, and the name of the customer who has posted this, the location of the customer, the description of the customer for this particular product, the condition that he wants to get it in, and the brand of the product itself. Now here you can see that from here as well, the guest users or the customers can also request a same request that has already been placed by the customers there, and can also place the bid from here. So if I tap here on the request same request, you'll see that first we'll need to log in into our customer account. Only then we'll be able to request the same request. Now that was about the guest in, and now let's log into the customer account. So I'll just tap here on the login button, and thereafter I'll be logging into the customer account. So right now on the right hand side you can see that I have the customer account. Now after the successful installation of this particular plugin, the customers will find a customer reverse auction menu option on the right hand block here for the customers. So if I tap on that, below that the customers can find three different sub menu options. One is the add request, request list, and the bid list. So let's go through each of them one by one. So first of all, let's go to the add request, then I'll go to the request list and the bid list. So first of all, we have the add new request section here under the customer reverse auction. And here you can see that we have a heading there, some content is there, and from here the customers can add their requests for a product that they want to have from the marketplace itself. So here you'll have to set up what product or service are you looking for. So for example, I'll go for clothes, and from here we can basically find the products and services that I required. So for example, here I'll write t-shirt. Then we can set up the description. So I'll just set it as a test description there for the demo purposes, and then the customer needs to set his budget. So I want to have a t-shirt for the clothes category, and I want to have it in $20. I can set up the request deadline. So basically whichever date you have chosen here would be set as the deadline for this particular request that the customer is going to generate. So for example, I'll take it as 3rd Sunday. So at that day, the request deadline would be completed. Then now we have the country. So the customer needs to choose his country, his state, the city where he lives, and his zip code. Apart from that, right now you can see that it's not displaying the Google Maps correctly here, but not a worry for that. And now just tap here on the submit request button, and that would basically submit our request for the service like the clothes and the product. So and this particular request would then be listed up, so you can see that the request has been edited successfully. Now the customer can go to the we had the add request to add a request for the product. Then we have the request list. So here you can see the complete request that this particular customer has requested from the marketplace, and for each you can see that we have different statuses. Like for the t-shirt, it says unapproved, the budget amount is $20, the posting date along with the time is there, posted by, the customer name, his location. Apart from that, the customer can edit his request as well by tapping here in the edit request. Can also delete anyone by tapping here on the delete button. So if I tap here on the edit button, this would bring up my request, and from here we can make changes to the request as well. So after tapping on the request there, you can see that we have 3 different tabs now: general, link, and image. So under the link, you can enter the manufacturer name, and from the drop down you can choose the category. Under images, you can add the images for your product. So for example, if I tap here, and I'll be adding one image here for this product. Now let's go back to the general, and here we can choose the product condition, whether it's you want a new one or a used one. So I want it as a new one, and the budget will remain the same, and the deadline will remain the same as well. So you can change that as well. And after making the changes here, you'll just tap here in the save button, and we are done editing the customer request there for the product, that's the t-shirt. And here you can see that the request has been updated successfully, and now you can see this particular image is visible on this particular product's request. And here we also can see that the customer can see the approved request as well, unapproved, approved, along with the date, a time. Apart from that, here you can see that this one is approved, and here the customer has the option to view the request. So if I type here on the view request button, we'll be able to see the complete details of this particular request itself. Now coming back to the customer reverse auction, let's go to the request list once again. So here we have our request. Now this particular request is sent out to the admin of the marketplace first, and after he has approved it, only then can the marketplace vendors bid on this particular customer requirement. So let's go to the admin backend and let's approve this particular one, and thereafter we'll be seeing how the marketplace vendors can bid on this particular customer request there. And the customer can then choose from the bids having the lowest bid. The customer can choose the lowest bid and can purchase the product thereafter from that particular seller for that particular amount there. Now if you see that we have also the bid list here. So if I tap here in the bid list, here you can see that here's the requirement for the customer, the products are there. Here you can see the seller name, basically who will be basically providing or who are basically bidding on this. The product name, the bid price is there, date, and the status, whether ordered or not, declined or unapproved. So for example, if we tap here on the view button under the action column for the Apple iPhone, we'll be able to check the bid. So we'll be able to see who has bidded on this. So the request ID is 1 here, for example, and here you can see that the request budget by the customer was $49, and it was posted by Kim Thompson, and the request description was there. Now the bid was done by John Doe, that's the seller, and the bid price was $55. Now accordingly the customer can check all of the bidders there, and the one having the lowest bid can be accepted by the customer, and thereafter the customer can purchase that particular vendor's product on that price itself. Apart from that, the customers can also check the conversation there for the bids. And here you can see that the sender name is Kim Thompson, and Here the customer can enter the message to send out to the particular vendor there that I like the product price, and let's go further and let's make it there. Now that was about the bid section here that we just showed you. So here we can add the request. Here we can check the request list, edit, delete, or with the details there. Here we can check the bid list who have bidded on our requests there, and that's up. So now let's do one thing. Let's go to the admin backend panel. Let's see how the admin can basically approve our bid. So for that, let's go to the request list, and here's our requirement for the t-shirt. So now let's go to the admin backend panel. So I'll just be logging into the admin backend panel first, and here I'm on the dashboard, and here after the successful installation, the admin can see the customer reverse auction here. So here you can see that the admin can see the customer request list. So we'll just tap on that, and here we'll be able to check the complete list of customer requests that have been set up. And here's our product and the request that we had done by Kim Thompson for t-shirt here. The budget is $20, category clothing, location, the deadline, and the approval right now is unapproved. So from here the admin can approve this particular bid request. So you can see that the customer request has been successfully approved. So now you can see that it's approved here, and if we go back to this particular section under the customer's account and refresh the page, then you can see the requirement for the t-shirt is approved right now. And before this we were not able to check the view button here. Now you can see that we have a view button after it has been approved by the admin. So if I tap here on the view request button, we'll be able to check the complete details of the same. So here's the budget, my deadline, posted, time, by, from, like the location of the customer, the description what is there, the condition, and the brand name. I hadn't added the brand name there, so that's it. Now that's how the admin can approve the customer requests there. Now let's see how the marketplace vendors would be able to accept the same and place a bid for this customer request. So for that, let's log out of the customer account, and I'll be logging into the seller account. So I'll just tap here on the logout button. So I've just logged into my vendor account, as you can see here, and to check the customer request, the vendor will go to the customer request option here in the header. I'll just tap that up, and that brings up the complete customer request list. As you can see, this is the t-shirt product that the customer requested for, and it was posted, the date, the budget 20, posted, the customer name, and the location of the customer. Now the vendor can tap here on the view request button, and that will bring up this particular request details. As you can see, customer request, this is the customer part there, and here you can see that the vendor has the option to submit his bid. So from he can choose his product, he can set the price for the same, he can choose the bid price, and he can set up the comment that would then be visible to the customers there, and the customers can find that particular one under the bid list when a vendor has bidded for the same. So here the vendor can choose the respective product. So for example, if we go for a t-shirt, all right, we don't have a t-shirt there. All right, let me choose a design bangles, and the price is $20 as per the budget of the customer there. So let's bid it on for example $18, and let's set it as kindly check the bid. Now similarly, multiple sellers can bid on the same product as well, and let's tap here on the submit button thereafter, and this bid would then be submitted along with the comment there. So you can see that the bid has been submitted successfully, and the seller bid list is here, as you can see. And also, once you have placed the bid for a request, you won't be able to update the bid thereafter. And here you can see the vendor name, the shop name, location, and the bid amount is $18. Customer was asking for the budget up till $20. Now if I go back to the manage request bid, so here you can see now that I've after the vendor has set out the what we say as the bid by going to first customer request, then going to the view request option. Then here he has submitted the bid. Now to check his bids that he has already submitted, he'll have to go to the manage request bid list, and here he'll find the complete list of bids that he has set up. So here's the t-shirt for the Kim Thompson, and the product name we have set as design bangles. $18 is the bid price, and here we have the option as unapproved right now. So if I tap here on the view button, we'll be able to view the bid details of this particular one. So here you can see that the request details are here from the customer, and the request description that the customer entered was test description, and here's the bid product along with the bid price. So for this bid we can also send a message to the customer, send OK if liked, and can tap here in the send button thereafter to send a message to the customer or communicate with the customer for this particular bid that he has set up. So you can see that now the vendor communication is there. Now let's do one thing. Now let's log out of the vendor account and let's log into the customer's account. So let's go there and log in, and log into the customer account. Now after the vendor has placed a bid for the customer's request there, the customer can go to the customer reverse auction, and then he'll first go to the request list. So it's the details of the list are visible. Let's tap here on the view request button, and now the customer can see that the particular seller has bidded on his particular request, as you can see. Now to check the complete details, we'll go to the particular bid by going to the bid list under the customer account here, and here we have the t-shirt, the seller name who has placed a bid on my product, for my product, the bid price. So now if there are 3-4 sellers, then I can choose the most lowest one, and we can tap here on the view button, and here's the same bid. And if I go to the conversation section here, you can see that the seller sent out send OK if liked, and from here if the customer likes the product, and the because the requested budget was $20 and the seller has bidded the price for $18, so now the customer can basically approve this one. So to approve a bid there by the customer, he'll go to the conversation section, and for the status he'll choose it as approved, and he can send in the message back to the seller, OK will purchase, and then tap send on this, and this request would then be approved. Now you can see from unapproved it has gone to the approved status here, and under the conversation, if we go back here, the status is approved, and here's the customer's comment back to the vendor there, OK will purchase, along with the date as well. Now after this let's go to the customer reverse auction once again, and let's hop on to the bid list there. So now you can see that the customer has approved this particular bid for the $18 by John Doe. So after the approval there, you can see that under the status, now we have the add to cart button. The customer can basically order the products, and the status would lastly be ordered. If it's declined, it would say declined. If it has not been processed further by the customer, it would be unapproved. And now you can see that this one is approved by the customer. So now the customer can tap here on the add to cart button, and now he'll be able to purchase the respective product. So I'll just remove the other ones that are there within this. So I'll just remove this as well. So the bid price, the budget was 20, the bid price was 18, so this product can now be purchased for $18. We have 2 quantities, so that's why it's showing 36. Thereafter the customer can tap here on the checkout button and can now purchase the product according to his need there. And after getting the lowest bid there, the customer can place the order for the product as required. So we'll just go further, and we'll just place the order here, and lastly terms and conditions, continue, and confirm order button. and the order would be placed for the price that was negotiated there. So if we go to the history, here's Kim Thompson. Let's view this order. So design bangles, 2 quantity, per unit price 18, total is 36 there. So that's how the customer reverse auction works. Add a request, request is approved, goes to the requested list, edit the request, then when the marketplace seller bids on that, those are under the bid list, and from bid list then you can add the product to the cart. So let's go back to the bid list, and now you can see the t-shirt John Player, John Doe, $18. We have the add to cart button. Now we have placed the order, so it says ordered. We can also completely waive the details again. So here the details are there, and now the status is ordered from approved. And if we go to the conversation, we have the conversation data as well. So that's how it works on the vendor's end. And lastly, let's go to the admin backend panel and let's see what different initial configurations are there for this particular plugin. So for that, let's hop onto the admin backend panel now. So I'm here at the admin backend panel, and just give me a second, let me refresh the page and let's check the one that we've just done. So here you can see the customer name, product, and it's approved. Now to make the initial configuration settings, just navigate through extensions and then extensions. On the extensions page, just choose a module, and then you'll have to choose the marketplace customer reverse auction. Tap here in the edit button, and that brings up general, request settings, customer bid status, social connect, and notification settings. So the very first option here is to enable the module status. So choose enable to have this functionality within your store for the customer reverse auction. Then under the general, you can set up your default time zone according to which it will work. You can add the default request image as well for the reverse auction product. You can also choose the allowed requested image extensions. So these can be used by the customers to add the images. You can also set up the allowed requested image size. You can choose to have the request approval by admin. So if you say it as a disabled, then it would be automatically approved. Otherwise, if you want to moderate it, you can choose it as enabled. Then the admin would approve the seller of the customer's request first, and then the sellers can bid on that. Seller can update the bid details. You can choose to allow. If you remember, we were not able to update the bid details. We had a message there. So if you choose this option as enabled, then the vendor can also update the bid details on which he has already bid. Then we have the new request mail to admin. We can choose it as enabled to send in the request a particular mail. Now under the request settings, here you can see that the add request banner image, the add request page for the customer, if you remember, it had this one. So you can set your image there. You can set up the heading. There was the heading. Then we had this request block description, fill your requirements here, and for the product maximum quantity for request, so here you can set up the maximum quantity that can be requested by the marketplace customers. So the number that you have entered here would be set for the customers. Now coming to the customer bid status here, so the admin can allow the bid status for customers like approved, declined, and timeout. So from these, whichever the admin has allowed would be available for the customers to choose, because the customers are going to approve the bid of the marketplace vendors for his submitted request. Then we have the bid status sequence for the customers, so you can change the sequence of the bid status as well. And then we have the social connect. You can connect your Facebook and Twitter as well, and you can choose to enable it up. Add a Facebook logo, set up your Facebook app ID and secret key here. You can check the user guide for more details on how to get your Facebook app ID and the secret key. Similarly, you can set up your Twitter as well. You can set up the status for the Twitter as enabled, choose the logo, set up the Twitter app ID and the Twitter secret key there. And lastly, you have the notifications settings, wherein this option that you can see, request match condition for seller notification. So this option to notify the sellers based on the related result regarding the customer's query. And then we have the deadline notification cron status. You can also choose to have it as enabled or disabled. So a notification is set out or at the time of deadline there. Number of days basically. So enter the number of days before the request deadline, seller will be notified. And lastly, you have the deadline notification message, hurry up, you can still bid for the customer request. So whatever content that you have set here would be then visible within that particular mail sent out 2 days before the expiry of the particular customer request. And lastly, you'll just have to tap here in the save configuration button, and you're done configuring the OpenCart multi-vendor marketplace customer reverse auction plugin itself. And we had already gone through the customer reverse auction, wherein we have the complete list of customer requests that have been set up with the requirement, image, customer name, the budget of the customers, the category from which it has been asked, the location of the customers, the deadline, approval, and the admin can approve or disapprove any of the requests sent in by the marketplace customers. So this is the heading and the content there that we were talking about in the configuration section a moment earlier. What product services you're looking for, description, your budget, the rest of the details as well. So that was much about the plugin itself, and I hope it helped you out. If you still have any questions, queries, or suggestions or questions, kindly do get back to us at support@webkul.com, or you can raise a ticket at webkul@uvdesk.com. Apart from that, you can also connect us through our support there. That's webkul.uvdesk.com by creating a ticket, or through our contacts link, that is www.webkul.com/contacts. And lastly, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And lastly, thanks for watching this particular video, and have a great day ahead.